You know what I mean? He's gone. And we couldn't do nothing about it.
Crazy Crab in the house with a new segment called Random Movie Review. And my intro for these will include a clip from a different movie every time, not the one I'm reviewing. So if you recognize that clip, if you know what movie that's from, put it in the comments. First person to get it right, if anybody, will get a call out at the beginning of the next video, and then I'll have another one. So every one of my movie reviews will have a little clip from at the beginning that you can hear and say, oh, I know what movie that's from, just for fun, just something that I'll have at the intro to each movie review. So let's get on to today's movie. It is called Annihilation. I watched it last night. This is a new movie, fairly new, 2018, that came out earlier this year. Written and directed by Alex Garland, who also made Ex Machina, which I saw and enjoyed, but it wasn't like awesome to me. This one, however, just initial thoughts as I finished watching.
Wow, that was weird.
It was pretty out there. Even though I'm a big fan of science fiction movies, this one really wasn't my cup of tea, and I'll preface this by saying maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I'm a little slow. Maybe a smarter person would appreciate it more. But honestly, I just felt that the movie wasn't very good. And it really was kind of dumb. But worse, it was just weird, man. Just too weird for me. I like weirdness. I like going down the rabbit hole. I really do. That's why films like this intrigue me when I read their synopsis. But when they go too deep into the rabbit hole to the point where you're like on an acid trip, yeah, I'm good at that point. Not to mention it was slow and it dragged, and that's okay for some films. I don't need like continuous action, boom, 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 explosions if it's something that really gets my attention. But a lot of times it was just like, come on, let's go. Please, let's move it along now. Not to mention there are some side stories that I thought were just completely unnecessary and did not help at all. And I'll get into that too. There's going to be some spoilers, but honestly, I don't think I could even spoil this for you because I don't know what the hell happened in this movie. But there will be some minor spoilers. So here we go. So there's a lighthouse. Something from another world crashes into it like a meteor would. And whatever it is causes this shimmering electromagnetic field to start building and growing around the lighthouse. And it's spreading. It's continuing to spread outwards. It's going to take over the whole world eventually. So soldiers have been sent in to try to find out what the hell. No one ever comes out. They go in, they don't come out. Except one person, and that character is Kane, who, yes, as you can see, is Poe Dameron. I did not know he was in this movie, so I was surprised to see him. But anyway, he plays the husband of Lena, who is played, as you can see, by Queen Amidala. And I did know that Natalie Portman was in it, and she was really good, but she's awesome. She's a really, really great actress and is in lots of movies. I knew she was in it, but I did not expect Poe to show up. So anyway, Kane, that's his name in the movie, he reappears out of nowhere a year after he entered into the shimmer, which is what that field is called. It's called the shimmer, that whole electromagnetic field. And he's weird, he's messed up, he doesn't know what the freak happened. He can't even talk very well. And then he gets horribly sick. He starts throwing up blood. They start taking him to the hospital. A team of soldiers, they look like some kind of a special forces unit, and they grab Kane and Lena and they take them to Area X. This is the base of operations for entering, studying, and trying to solve this problem that is the shimmer. That's where we meet Dr. Ventress, and she acts all spooky and talks all slow and dramatic like, and that's the same way another character, this guy, he talks to Lena in a flash forward. There's lots of moving around in time here, like we're flashing forward, we're flashing back, we're flashing all over the place. And that's in a movie that's already completely weird and hard to follow anyway. Pretty weird and tough to watch. But anyway, this character talks to Lena in a flash forward, presumably after she's entered and exited the shimmer, and it doesn't feel natural because there's this intentional drama that it feels completely artificial. Characters are always talking all spooky and all slow and all, what did you find when you went in there? And what happened to your colleagues? And how did you ever escape? You know, instead of, I understand they're in the spacesuits, they don't want to get whatever she may have picked up while she was in there, but the whole interrogation of her was like really weird. You would talk to her a little more friendly, like, I would think. Well, maybe this guy's just weird, but this girl, Dr. Ventress, as we get back to her, she talks weird too. Slow and weird. She's weird. People are weird. I'm not saying you can't have a weird character, but yeah, something's just off about this whole deal. But anyway, Dr. Ventress explains to Lena that her husband is in bad shape and herself and three other scientists are planning to enter the Shimmer to get to the lighthouse to find out what the hell. The whole thing was weird because, I get it. Military teams have tried to enter. They were never seen again. So now, instead of a military operation, they're going to send in some scientists. I get that. But there was no one else really at the base that we saw part of the planning process and part of the execution of this operation. Where's everybody? It was just like these women were the last people on Earth and the final hope. But that wasn't the case. So Dr. Ventress, who was her boss? We didn't see a boss. There was no generals. There was no military. There was no nothing. There were no even other scientists who were waiting and ready to check out whatever they would bring back. And maybe there were there. But they didn't show that. There was not a sense of a big operation. There was a sense of these 5 girls there ready to rock and roll. Where is everybody? What's going on? This is a big deal right here. Yeah, nobody there. So Lena, who's a biologist, was like, hey, I'm going in too. And they were like, okay, whatever. Like, it was not very organized. So we're going in now. Felt really weird and unreal. I get it, science fiction, but science fiction, the science fiction aspect was the Shimmer itself, and I have no problem with that. I love that idea. I love the concept. But, okay, these 5 scientists are going in to try to find out what's going on. I get it. They've already sent in military crews, but you're still going to have a lot of people outside the Shimmer planning this, getting ready, preparing. What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? What is the plan? Instead of, we're just going to go in, try to make it to the lighthouse, and there's no abort plan, there's nothing. It was really weird. So suddenly they're going in, they got their backpacks, they walk right in, and that's where things get a little interesting. I admit it was intriguing at times. Things were weird in there. I enjoyed their initial experiences. Weird things happening. The passage of time was not right. People weren't remembering things. Like, it seems like we've been here for a day, but based on everything else, we've been here for a week. Strange plant life that was not biologically possible based on our understandings of life was occurring. The deeper they got, the more weird it got. And I was cool with that to a certain point. They started realizing whatever was affecting everything in the Shimmer was also affecting them. They ran into mutated animals that are a combination of different species, including plants, including all life. It was really crazy. The concept is cool, and I think it could have been a cool and great movie, but unfortunately, the execution, I feel, is lacking for me. Things got way too weird, too trippy. Then they start to drag and drag and drag and drag. Especially at the end. I was in agony. I was like, please just end. Please just end. Please end. The visuals were fine. They were very beautiful. In fact, the music was cool. Everything, all that stuff was great. I noticed it, yes. And the movie was different. Different is not always good. And like I said, very slow, draggy. And in a movie like this where I'm thinking, okay, where can this go? Where will this go? Will this have an ending that is really awesome, that blows my mind and makes it all worth it? For me, the answer was hell no. But then again, maybe I'm just too dumb to get it. But I felt like they were just kind of making it up almost as they go. Like, let's just have this happen, and now this weirdness, and this happens, and this happens. Let's have some trippy stuff to be ambiguous and get people talking and get people like, whoa, what the hell was that? My mind is blown. But really, I just wasn't into it enough to have my mind blown or to want to discuss it. I just wanted it to be over and to go do something else with my life. But yeah, I'm reviewing it because this was part of the plan. I planned on doing this review. I chose this movie to watch because it was a science fiction movie that had a really intriguing plot, a really interesting idea. So I thought I'd check it out. I realized that it was an all-female crew going in there, and that could be a little suspicious, like, oh, is this some kind of SJW thing? But, you know, shockingly, I'm actually not sexist, and I completely didn't mind this idea as long as it made sense in the movie, and they kind of did, but Again, not really, because there was no one else there. I don't care, men or women, there was no one else there as part of this operation, like helping them. If there, maybe there were, but they weren't showing them. It wasn't like normal. It was really weird and boring. And the dialogue, I thought they, make clunky and dumbed down dialogue, and then make the ending make no sense and be way out there, like way too intellectual for us to handle. Well, if it's too intellectual for us to handle, why don't you have them talk like scientists would, even if we don't quite follow it? We don't need you to dumb down the dialogue and then make it so weird that we can't follow it anyway. Maybe I'm off, but I don't know if someone with superior intelligence would watch that ending and be like, oh yes, I understand, it's amazing. Or if even they would be like, no, this is just stupid. This is just stupid. And I get the feeling it might be the second thing. I felt it was unrealistic. I felt it was boring. I thought it was way too weird. I like weird, but this one was too out there. It reminded me a lot of a movie called Lucy, which I did like overall, way better than this one. But Lucy is a movie that starts out awesome. Like the first half, I loved it. I was like, wow, this is freaking cool, man. I love it. But the last half goes so deep down the rabbit hole and goes so trippy and out there, so deep into left field, that I lose interest. I'm just like, what the hell? I'm invested in a character, I'm invested in a story, and then the story and the characters and everything just goes, what the hell? What is this? I'm lost. I'm gone. And Annihilation is like that. And it develops questions to be answered. There are plot points brought up, and all that's thrown out the window for weirdness at the end. Weirdness that drags and drags and drags, like this review is doing. So let me wrap it up. I did have to mention the side story where Lena is having an affair with a colleague, and they're actually shown having sex over and over, and it really does not help the movie. I guess it's supposed to, add more weight to her character and to her mission, but it doesn't work for me. The concept is already cool enough. The whole concept, the whole scientific concept. Okay, she's going in there because she's a biologist. Her husband is sick from going in there. She wants to find out what happened to him. She wants to help. We don't need her screwing another guy to complicate things, and the scene doesn't even fit. It feels like I'm switching channels between HBO, which has a science fiction movie, and Showtime, which has a softcore porn movie, and I'm just switching back and forth, and it's really weird. It didn't fit. I didn't like it. There were a couple of cool action scenes. There were some intriguing moments, but overall, definitely thumbs down. Unfortunately, I didn't really like this movie. I give it 3 out of 10 Lucases. So give me your thoughts if you saw it. And I could see that some people would love it and like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But for me, it had some of the elements of something that I would really like, but it did not have the execution for me personally. So I hope you enjoyed the review. More coming soon. By the way, happy 4th of July if you celebrate that here in the United States. And I'm not really patriotic, but I did serve in the Army and I went to the war, so it kind of balances things out there. So when people say, what, are you not patriotic or something? You don't like the country? I say, hey bro, I went to the war, man. And they're like, oh, sorry about that. See y'all later. Bye-bye.